Today's guest is Jake Ducey, who is an inspirational author, and this young man has authored two books, one that's out right now and one that is yet to come out, that I believe truly are must-reads for everybody. And Jake, first of all, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
and I've got to ask, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, I hate you. I just wanted to get that out there. Okay, and now I'll be okay. I'm only kidding.
It's okay. I'm confident because I have makeup now, so it's okay if you dislike me.
Oh, okay, because once you take the makeup off, I may not even recognize you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the makeup artist, every time we do a show for me, just wants to use a brown paper bag. So go figure. But Jake, first of all, to have written two books at your age, I wanted to start. Tell our viewing and listening audience a little bit of who is Jake Ducey.
Jake Ducey grew up as one of the top high school recruits in basketball out of San Diego, and my life was based off whether I was in the papers and how many points that I scored. And ultimately, when I went to school to play college basketball, and I was groomed for the prescribed lifestyle of society, which was gonna be I'd be a salesman for somebody else's company. And I realized none of that was fulfilling me. And I started reading inspirational books, and Jake Ducey evolved into someone that was looking for a little bit more than just validation from other people. And because of that, I realized there's a difference between learning it and living it. And
what was the turning point? Because you're young to have reached that turning point. And most people actually never do.
Yeah.
But there was something that impacted your life when you said, this doesn't fit. My life doesn't fit. There's got to be something better out there.
When I was in economics class freshman year, I asked my teacher about things that weren't pertaining to the book. And he said, you can't ask questions that are outside of the book because we have to get it done. That was when I realized that it probably wasn't the most conducive place for my learning. And that's when I really started reading a lot of Ralph Waldo Emerson, Jack Canfield. Then I said, well, I'm not really living my dream, so all I'm doing is learning it and not living it. And I realized I'm young, no one my age is writing about this. Maybe there's an opportunity, which had me drop out of college as a sophomore and travel around the world, which is Stepping Into the Wind, my first book, Into the Wind.
And you know, that's one of the reasons why I was really excited about having you, because you've made this kind of, I hate to use the term new age transition, but a more openness to who you are and how you interact with the universe around you. And you're young to do that. So authors like you can get the word out to young people while they still have the time.
Yeah, right.
My big transition only happened to me about 5 years ago.
Okay.
I wish I had been your age when it
right.
happened. So tell us a little bit about Into the Wind, because it sounds like that's a very interesting life story.
Thanks. Yeah, it was beautiful. It came out in April and made the Amazon best-selling list. The foreword's by Laird Hamilton, the guy who had surfed the largest wave ever. And basically, it's a story of me realizing that I had a shift in values and what was important to me. I realized most of us are gambling on the biggest risk of all. One day, then I'll buy the freedom to do what I want. Or after, then my mom's happy.
I call that the only ifs.
Yeah, the only ifs.
Only if I had this, only if I had that, then life would be good.
So Into the Wind was stepping into the wind out of the only ifs. And I started in Guatemala, where I was really growing up with always a roof over my head, food to eat. Then seeing people that didn't have that, it really showed me, instead of the only ifs, if only if I had this or that, I realized, man, living it was just seeing what I had in front of me and connecting the dots to find some joy out of life, what was happening.
Right, because joy doesn't have to be connected to stuff and what you have. Those people in Guatemala, you probably saw joyful people who had far less than what you grew up with.
Right, and you know what, I'm not advocating that stuff can't help us. I just think that it can often convolute us from ever really recognizing ourselves in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And so it was a journey about finding that. And I traveled around with a backpack through Australia, Indonesia, and ultimately what happened is I lost all my bank cards in Indonesia after I'd been staying and just meeting random people through Australia. A family took me in the concrete tilt-ups, concrete shacks, and 6x6 foot concrete structure. They fed me, they clothed me. I sat on the curbs with them in the ghetto. And ultimately I fell off a cliff when we were hiking in the rainforest, and I saw my life flash before my eyes.
Wow.
And that was when I realized, man, I had something to share here. They saved my life. They jumped off after me. It's the most incredible thing ever happened.
I love that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to finish the story, which for now, and I know there's going to be a lot of now for in your future, is the next book, which is coming out in February, Purpose Principles.
Yes.
So don't go away. The very best part of this conversation is yet to come. You are watching or listening to Ron Stark the Voice, coming to you from the beautiful KGEM studios in Old Town Monrovia. And our guest today is inspirational author Jake Ducey, who wrote Into the Wind, and that was kind of the story of the beginnings of your personal evolution. And now you've just finished a book called Purpose Principles that will be coming out in print, I believe, in February.
In February, I'm very excited about that. It's coming out with Penguin Random House, so I'm the youngest inspirational author published by them, and so it's incredible to see take the step with the risk and see it come around. Basically, the book is about, I think we have such an affection with celebrities and we admire them, whether it's an actor or a social
whether it's
contributor.
deserved or not.
Whether it's deserved or not, whether it's Gandhi or whether it's a movie star. And
Right.
I think what we forget to ask is how. How did they do that? And this book is about how. And I've went around and interviewed some of the most successful people in the world, from Jack Canfield, who created Chicken Soup for the Soul books, to so far as Laird Hamilton, Bucky Lasek, who's the second most gold medals in skateboarding behind Tony Hawk, and asking them how, and then connecting the dots. Where are the common threads? And I broke it into 27 principles. And it's about application of these principles to live it rather than to learn it, and saying, look, this is what people are doing, how they're doing it, rather than just looking at them, wow, they're really beautiful, or they're doing so great.
And they only got there because, and if I had, or only if, I could be there too.
Exactly. And so these are breakthrough principles, steps, ways of looking at the world to get through the barricade of these if-onlys.
So these 27 principles, these are principles that people can actually choose to start living by on a daily basis?
Oh, absolutely. There's exercises at the end of each section, and I illustrate it through sharing the stories of individuals. That's how I tell a principle is, look, here's the story of this individual, through the interviews, through them growing up, or maybe in present time, and then breaking it down to how they've applied it, whether it's a belief system or an action, or whether it's literal strategies for greater productivity, time management, communication, how to draw more meaning into life.
So would someone absorb all 27 of these principles, or are they going to pick and choose the ones that are most applicable to their life?
I write in the preface of the book that you will find what you're looking for perhaps on the first chapter or the last page. I wish I could tell you how you're going to do that, but you're going to know, because you're going to be standing up firmer, you're going to be sitting straighter. Right. It's all logistics and semantics anyways, and when we feel that space of greatness that is first within ourselves, then some strategies work, some don't. Overall, it's that they have a vision and they've implemented it through persistent action.
I love it. So as they're going through these, one or more are going to resonate with them.
Yeah,
and they'll
absolutely.
know these are the ones for me, and this is how I can take action. Because you're right. I know, we all know people who read the self-improvement books, the self-help books, they can talk it, but you watch their life and they're just talking it.
Right.
And they're not acting on any of it, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is sometimes not easy to make those.
Oh, it's not easy at all. It's not easy. It wasn't easy for Martin Luther King to change the face of human history, and I've broken down what I feel is how he applied his vision to reality. And so, granted, it's not always easy, but sharing these individual stories of the challenges they've went through, some of them extreme challenges that nobody's aware of, and I think that gives a level of security to the reader that they can take the step into the unknown.
And I think that's important for them first to be given the guidance and direction, and then be told, this is what you need to do, and it may be a little uncomfortable, but the fact that you're feeling discomfort means you're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely.
And that is wonderful. If someone wants more information on either of these books, how can they get it?
Absolutely. Or if you would like to know how I got my makeup done, you can go to my website, and that's jakeducey.com, D as in David, UCE, D as in David, UCEY.com, JakeDucey.com, and anywhere online, YouTube, Facebook, my blog's up, and my blog's called The Daily Ducey.
All right, thank you. And I look forward to hearing more from you and the success of your new book. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. Right on.
Firstly, the City of LA is now taking pedestrianism very seriously, and one of our key sections of the population that we really want to encourage and motivate to walk more is our student age population. So Walktober, and specifically the event, Walk to School Day, is part of a actually global initiative where every day, or for a particular day in October, schools host Walk to School events. And this past October was really the first time that the City of LA, through our position, created a citywide Walk to School initiative. And of our Los Angeles Unified School District, of which we have about 500 schools in the City of LA, approximately 55 schools hosted events. And it was just a fantastic day of students and teachers and staff and parents really focusing on the physical activity and the fun of walking, as well